Intel out with better than expected results and signs potentially of a big comeback. Joining us now is Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger. Pat, well, there are a lot of doubters out there. What do you say to them today?
Well, hey, this was just a really good quarter financially, but even better quarter operationally. And I've just said outstanding performance and, a clean beat on the top and bottom line, a raise of guidance, great operational performance in our cost saving initiative. But even more significant, Brian, was the major milestones that we hit operationally, key roadmap milestones in PC, the AIPC, the server progress, our AI product lines, but maybe most importantly, the process technology, our 5 nodes in 4 years, just hitting major milestones on that audacious plan that we laid out, but also the first foundry customers. And I promised you 1, we now have 3, the first major advanced packaging customers coming into our foundry. So really across the board, an outstanding quarter for Team Intel. And yes, Intel is roaring back to life.
Pat, I've had the pleasure of talking to you after, I believe, each quarter the past, let's say, 5 quarters. This quarter, I think, was the first quarter where there were real signs of tangible improvement on cost savings, on product execution. How is the company different today compared to 6 months ago?
Well, in a lot of ways, hey, if you were inside of the company 2, 3 quarters ago, Brian, you'd say, I'm starting to feel it. And a lot of those things you see internally before they're visible externally. And we've been just one by one building more momentum. Our cost savings initiatives have been gaining more momentum, this internal foundry model gaining more momentum. And a lot of the product executions, well, we knew they were going to look better, a quarter or 2 ago, but now they're visible externally as well. So I just say, hey, the momentum is building. And we still have a lot of work to do. As I said when I took the job, it was a 5-year effort to rebuild this iconic company. And here we are halfway through, and now the visible, tangible proof points of that are seen in our customers, in our products, in our financial results. A really outstanding quarter.
One thing that stood out to me on the earnings call, Pat, there was a lot of name drops on new products. For the average investor out there that doesn't have your technical expertise, what are the 1 or 2 products that are going to change the game for Intel over the next 18 months?
Well, on the client side, I just call it the AIPC. And we have the next 3 generations. 1 is ramping today, our Core Ultra, but then the next 2 products that come in 24 and 25 already well underway. On the server side, we say our Xeon product line, we delivered our Gen 4 is ramping ahead of schedule. Gen 5 is already in the market, and we're going to be announcing that in December. But next year's products and our 25 products are already hitting key validation milestones. And maybe the final one is the AI product lines and our Gaudi products. We're now racing to catch up to demand, and we're winning benchmarks with those and really participating in that surge of AI interest that we're seeing across the board. So all of those areas gaining momentum, a really great quarter.
What exactly is an AIPC? You're not the first person in tech that has called that out to me. What does that exactly entail, and how does that change your business?
Yeah, and an AIPC is now one that you're not going to the cloud to use these AI capabilities. They're right there in your PC, your local data running on your PC in real time. And imagine that you and I, the next time we have a conversation, right before the conversation comes up, it says, this is a summary of your last interview with Sazi. This is what you guys talked about. And remember, this update on his family is coming up. And that just appears as part of our next conversation that we might have on Zoom or Teams, recording everything that you do, getting this contextual information. Wow, that improves my productivity. Or imagine that you're a visual arts creator and you're able to take advantage of these generative AI models being done locally, and you're able to be far more productive. Or a legal brief, right, is being appeared in real time if you're an attorney or a sales leader. All of those being done on your local PC, and the productivity improvements that result from that we think are going to be quite outstanding across numerous, blue and white collar kind of assignments. So we're quite excited about it, and I've called it a Centrino-like moment. Centrino really ushered Wi-Fi and wireless connectivity in. We see the AIPC ushering in a new phase of PC use cases and really being an accelerant to the overall PC category.
Pat, I don't see any of this stuff in my local Best Buy right now. When do these PCs start to hit the market?
Well, we're starting to demonstrate these capabilities. We announced 100 ISVs as part of our AI acceleration program, and our first generation of that, our Core Ultra, we're going to formally launch that December 14th. So somewhere there in New York, we're going to walk down to a store together, and I'm going to say, here, this is your first AIPC, Sazi, and we're going to show you some pretty cool applications that are running on it on December 14th.
Hey, sign me up for that, sir. I'm definitely down for that. In the data center now, when can you say we are grabbing market share again in the data center?
Yeah, I think we start to see that in 24. We knew that we had some losses of key designs that, began in 22. So some of the current situation is as expected, but we did perform a bit better than we thought we would this quarter. Sapphire Rapids, our Gen 4, is ramping ahead of schedule. The next generation, Gen 5, it's already in market and starting to ramp. But next year's products really increase our competitiveness substantially, and we believe they're strong enough that we can start to gain back market share. And I'm already sending my 25 products into fab, and some of those will begin in Q1 of next year. So we're well on track to even have better products coming in 25. So I think 24 is the time where we start gaining back share and really complementing that with our AI products like Gaudi. Intel is back in the data center, winning share, better products, better execution, and our customers are starting to see us and give us credit for that.
Since the last time we spoke, Pat, there's been just new concern on the relationship with China in terms of chips, what we may be able to ship there, what they may be able to ship here. From an AI perspective, how much of a risk is China?
And overall, what's you've seen out come from the government, from the BIS regulations, have been their efforts to limit these high-end training capabilities going to China, and something that the U.S. government wants to keep that as an area of competitive advantage. And we and others in the industry, need to comply with those requirements. That said, the bulk of our shipments to China are around, use of our products like Xeon and PCs. That's where our business is substantial. And, we'll work closely in understanding those regulations and understanding our, business implications thereof, and making sure we both comply as well as maximizing the market opportunity that we have. Because we've been in China forever, we have great customers there, and we're going to continue to support those customers.
I think a lot of investors don't realize, Pat, that Intel has had close to 50-year history in Israel. You really talked about that on the earnings call. Mm-hmm. What is your assessment of the situation, and how does Intel play in Israel moving forward?
Yeah, next year will be year 50 for Intel in Israel. And this is part of the Intel team in so many ways. We're one of the first companies to really take advantage of what's become known as the startup nation in Israel. That said, we have focus on making sure our teams are safe, their families are safe. But the thing that is so amazing, Sazi, is that this is a resilient people. And our operations continue, our fabs, and the construction of our next fab is continuing despite all of these challenges that they're facing. And our thoughts and our prayers are for a quick resolution and peace to be restored in that area of the world. These are not just colleagues, these are friends of mine personally, and I'm just heartfelt for that situation.
All right, well said, and we will leave it there on that note. Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger, good to see that turnaround taking shape. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Sazi.